Welcome back to the Good Apple Games channel. I'm Neal Hooper, and today we're going to be talking about Stonk Market. Alright, well, as you know, we're getting our way through our Gen Con haul, and I would like to thank Allplay for providing us a review copy of Stonk Market. This game, I don't want to say I had low expectations, but I didn't know a lot about it. It seemed like it kind of came out of nowhere, and then when I played it, and I saw people buying it up like crazy, because remember, I was working the Allplay booth at Gen Con, and I saw a bunch of people coming up and asking for this game. So I was like, okay, what's going on with Stonk Market? So let's dive into a quick how-to, and then I'll come back with my thoughts. All right, so this is the setup for a 4-player game. You're going to deal out the cards according to the player count, which will be everybody gets the same amount of cards, and then there will be one left over in the middle. So once you deal out everybody's cards, you can take your deck, and the point of the game is you're trying to get the most points. And what you do is you're trying to create sets, and you're going for majorities during the course of the game. So you kind of organize your cards. You can see here I've got some hippos, I've got some octopuses, I've got onesies and twosies of a few other cards. So this is my hand. You got a lot of cards. That is one thing to keep in mind, that you gotta be good at handling a lot of cards in your hand. But what you do is you flip over this card in the middle. What we're going to do now is every player is going to be trading. It'll be an open market. So I'm going to be trying to go for majorities here. The number of the card is also the number of cards in play. So there are 9 of these bio hippos, there are 7 of these blamos, and so on. So that kind of helps you know how close you are to a majority, right? The higher the score, the more points you can get, but also the harder it's going to be to get a majority. So anyway, I might start off by just trading some onesies, twosies, right? And I'm looking for octopus. So I'm going to say, who's got the octopus, right? And I identify who's got the card I want, and then I start making them offers, right? And I kind of go through, see what they're looking for. Some people don't move on one card, but if I've got multiples that they're looking for, I might trade them. I say, I'll give you these 2 novel and grass for your octopus, and if they agree, or sorry, for the bio hippo, and if they agree, they would give me the hippos and so on. So if I was trading this person, they'd grab their, maybe they just give me 1. And that's the other thing. It doesn't matter the quantity of cards, right? I can trade you 2 for 1. I can trade you 3 for 1. You just have to agree before you make the deal. So if we make the trade, I start just trying to get those majorities. Now, once I get to the point where I have only majorities, meaning I have all the cards of certain suits, that's when I get to yell. The first person who does that gets to yell stonks. And that means, that signals the end of the game, because that means I've got all the majorities. And anybody can do that, right? So I've got all the bio hippos now. Let's just say I just ended up with all the bio hippos, right? I would say stonks, and that ends the round. Then you do your scoring. If you have the majority of a card, but not all of them, then you get 1 point per card. So for example here, I know there's 5 of these cards. I only have 4, so I don't have all of them, but I do have the majority, so that would be 1 point each. That would be 4 points. If I don't have the majority, the card's worth nothing, right? If you have all of the cards, it is 2 points each. And so that's important to keep in mind. But you got to watch that stonk card in the middle, because any cards that you have in your hand left over, those are actually negative points for if you have the same suit as the middle. So anyway, that's a kind of a rough overview, but you play 3 rounds and you keep track of your score. We like to play with counter chips as always. But yeah, whoever's the highest score at the end of 3 rounds doing that wins. All right, so there's how you play Stonk Market. it's one of those games where I feel like explaining the game doesn't do it justice. You have to play it in person. And I grew up playing Pit, which is a stock exchange game that has a very similar vibe. There's simultaneous trading going on. In Pit, though, you're only saying the number of cards you're trading, and you have to match the number, but you don't know what's being traded. So there's this frantic, blind trading almost, and it's a ton of fun. We loved it playing that growing up. But what I love about Stonk Market is there's way more strategy here, because I'm not only telling you what I'm trading, but I can trade you a few more cards than you're offering me if I really want it. I can try to sweeten the deal. And just with the majorities scoring 1 point each, and then having everything, having all of the cards of that number scoring 2 each, it just gives this great tension to the game. And then having the stonk card in the middle, that's negative points. There's just so much going on. And there's a lot of strategy, and these tiny box games, again, you hear me, I sound like a broken record with these Allplay tiny box games, but I can throw that in my pocket and have an absolute blast with 6 people, up to 6 people. So Reiner Knizia, this is not a typical game of Reiner Knizia's, but he's the doctor. He knows what he's doing, because it is a really fun game. I don't think everyone's gonna love it. If you don't like kind of real-time chaos, you probably won't enjoy it as much. But I would say, even if you haven't gravitated to those games in the past, you really ought to give Stonk Market a try, because there's a lot more depth and strategy here, and especially playing over 3 rounds. I think there's more gameplay and thought put into this one. Again, it's not for everybody, and I will be interested to see how much I come back to this game over and over. Playing with our family, it's like the hottest game right now. My kids are begging to play Stonk Market every night, and which again is another testament to the design here. There's enough strategy and counting and math to be interesting, but not so much that a child is going to be overwhelmed. And again, Arthur, he's our youngest that we play games with. He's 6, and he's having a blast with Stonk Market. So I really like this one. I will be curious to see, a couple months from now, where I'm at with Stonk Market if I keep grabbing it. But right now we're having a ton of fun. So this one is going to be sleeved for us here at Good Apple Games. An awesome game. It's a ton of fun. The size and price is right. It's Reiner Knizia pulling off yet another amazing, mathy but fun card game. So highly recommend Stonk Market. You can get it on allplay.com right now. And man, there's a bunch of good games on sale right now. They're doing their summer blowout. So if you get on there before the end of August, you can find some sweet deals. So check that out. Stonk Market, that is our review. Have you played it? What do you think of Stonk Market? Would love to hear your thoughts. As always, if you like these short reviews, like, subscribe, and follow for more content like this. Until next time, play some games, make some memories. We'll catch you on the next one.